Good people, what is going on? Another episode of the All Go Podcast. I'm your host, Desmond. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. Want to talk about a couple NFC North teams and one potential free agent acquisition and another guy who just became a free agent. So we'll start with the Packers. Jaire Alexander has been released, which there were some rumors about contract disputes and issues there. He famously decided on his own that he was going to go and be a captain and go out for the coin toss against the Carolina Panthers because that's where he's from. But he didn't want to clear that with the head coach at all and just went and did it on his own, which if you're not if you're watching this, you are a football fan. But nonetheless, that is a wild thing to do. I think he's a really good player. But I also think, he's missed a decent amount of time in the last couple seasons. But like I said, good player, but he's being compensated a lot. And if we're paying you a lot, we want you to be there every single week. And he wasn't. And then also kind of, causing some noise and distraction. So I'm not sure where he will end up. Honestly, kind of annoys me, but it might be true. You'll probably end up with the Eagles somehow. I don't know. I feel like every dang good player that is available, they somehow end up getting them and figuring out the money and the salary cap and all that. But man, Howie Roseman is just even on the misses, it's still not that big of a deal for them. It's pretty wild. So we'll see what happens there with Alexander. And to switch gears to once again talk about the Detroit Lions and our pass rush. Za'Darius Smith was at the BT Awards, I believe, and he is dating. I don't know if they're engaged or whatever, but his significant other is Cash Doll, who's, I don't know, some kind of, I don't even know what she does. I think she's a singer or something. But anyway, he was interviewed and basically said that, I hope we can get things figured out, but where I want to be in Detroit. That's where I want to be with the Lions. And it's kind of annoying. If you've listened to my channel, I've talked about this ad nauseum. But there's people who are just like, well, Brad Holmes, what do you expect him to do? These things take time, so on and so forth. Those things do take time. I would agree with that. But I would argue that a guy who was in your locker room for, a month and a half, about 6 weeks, and had no issues, fit in with the culture right away, was productive. He had 4 sacks, I think. Z was really good for us. And I think for the depth that we need at the defensive end position, he would be great. And the pushback I would give on these things take time is that the day after Frank Ragnow announced his retirement, the Detroit Lions signed an offensive lineman the very next day. The very next day. Now, the lineman that they signed, I would argue, is not the same caliber of guy, of talent that Za'Darius Smith is, but he's also from a different organization. So you have no idea how that is going to gel and how it's going to work. In general, I'm sure it's going to be fine. But the point is we're talking about someone who was in our locker room, who wore the Detroit Lions jersey. I just don't. This is really driving me nuts. And for as terrific of a job that Brad Holmes has done with getting the Lions to where we are today, from literally a bottom feeder, we were awful, to get here, it's nothing short of amazing. Because with franchises, ones that are perennial losers, they usually don't get to this point. It's very difficult to get here, right? You look at the Jets. The Jets, in the last, 20 years, haven't really had a consistent level of success. They had a couple years with Rex Ryan and Mark Sanchez. But outside of that, they've been doing pretty poorly, right? And it's just hard to get out of that. The Panthers, same thing. They're a team that pretty consistently loses. When Cam was there at his height, was at 2015, they went to the Super Bowl, so on and so forth, but they didn't get back, right? It's hard to do. So I commend him on that. But I also think what you did to get to this point is not going to be the same thing to get us from where we are now to that next level that we want to get to, which is the Super Bowl and winning it all. Now, I'm not saying you need to go mortgage the farm or anything like that. My Trey Hendrickson dreams are over. Okay, I've moved past that. I've given up on that. The Myles Garrett thing for like 2 days, I was like, could we? That's all a pass. Okay, so I'm not asking for super duper star. I'm asking for a guy who was literally on our team the end of last season and was helpful for us. That's all I'm asking for. We signed Marcus Davenport right away on the first day of free agency. We signed Marcus Davenport. He played all of 2 games for us, 3 games. You sign him no matter quick as can be. Nothing for Z. So that's all I'm asking for. Just not a top number 1 defensive end in the NFL. I'm asking for Za'Darius Smith. He was terrific for us. Would love to have him, because if somebody gets banged up, whether, I'm not even going to put that in the ethos, but if somebody gets banged up, it'd be great to have a rotational piece. And even if no one gets banged up, it would be great that on a third down, obvious pass situation, to bring in Hutch and Z and McNeil will be later. But, our first-round draft pick, his name's slipping me right now. But to have, multiple guys who can go get after the quarterback, that would be wonderful. To go and put 4 really good pass rushers on the field and go sack Jordan Love on a gotta-have-it 3rd and long. That would be terrific. That's all I'm asking for. Not that much. It's not that much. But that's it for me. Have a good one. Peace.